You know, don't you love like when you host somebody, right?
And they be like, what that?
Not even that. Like the small stuff. You serve your favorite foods. You serve your favorite wine, or whatever you're loving right now. You want to share with your friends. That's the experience your home should have, and that should start at the front door.
You may know him as season 4 winner of HGTV's Rock the Block, or maybe you've seen his name on Atlanta's Top 50 Most Powerful People. With over 15 years of experience, Michel Smith Boyd is an interior designer you ought to know. Ladies and gentlemen, Michel Smith Boyd.
Hi, Ashley.
Hey, Michelle.
How you doing?
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. That was a mouthful, wasn't it?
It was. But we got through it. Yeah, we did. Okay, so let's get started. So, how did you get into interior designing?
You know, that's the most common question, but I never know. I answer it differently every single time.
What you gonna give me today?
Well, I'm thinking, let me see what I want you to have. You know, I was living in New York full time.
Okay.
And we ended up working with the designer. And honestly, it was like kind of magical. Once I saw what this guy did and he took me to the design center, I just got really full in the way like it answered so many questions for me. Because I wasn't sure what I was doing. At the end of '99, I was like, okay, I gotta figure it out. You know, we all thought that the stock market was gonna crash and all the bank systems were gonna go crazy and so forth and so on. And I didn't know what the hell I wanted to do. And interior design kind of like, you know, God like you drop these little clues, right? And I felt like meeting this designer was a brick. That was like, duh, this is what you're supposed to be doing. I loved fashion and I loved the arts and I wanted to be an architect when I was a kid, but I was lost and that helped me.
So that was the missing piece.
That was the brick on my head. Yeah, it was like
brick,
boom.
boom.
Like I wasn't getting the context clues, but this was a big one.
No, you had to get that one. Hit you in the head.
Yeah.
So you were season 4 winner of Rock the Block. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Take me back to that moment from start to finish. What was that like?
Okay, so Rock the Block was honestly the biggest thing I'd ever done on television. I had just come off filming my own show. And it was an ensemble cast. I'm saying mine, I led the show, but it was really a great ensemble. With my friend Kai Williamson, and also Anthony Williams. And Laura Green. So that was a lot of fun, and it felt heavy, but this felt massive. Because Rock the Block is it's the #1 show on the network. It's the #1 radio show on the network. And the truth is, I'd never heard of the show until they asked us to do it. I'd never heard of it. And that's no shade. It's just that I just didn't know.
Yeah.
And it's a competition show. And years ago, before I even thought about television, HGTV reached out about me doing Design Star twice.
And you said no both times?
Yeah. Because here's the thing about a competition show. Somebody's got to go home first.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean that you're not talented. It just means you had a bad week. And I don't know. I don't think I was going to be able to recover from going home first. So I just didn't do it. Like dumb, right? That's ridiculous. It was ridiculous. Like thinking about it now, but that was so many years ago. And now we've seen competition shows launch massive careers, right? So Rock the Block was overwhelming, not only because it's the biggest show on the network, but also because it's seasoned talent. Nobody knew the hell we were. So Anthony and I were going to do Rock the Block, and my show hadn't aired yet. Our show had not even aired. So yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot. So I went in with the attitude of just being grateful for being there. Yeah.
And then you ended up winning.
And I don't even know how that happened.
Look at that.
I don't even know how that happened.
I mean, it must have been in the cards.
No, you know, it's no cards. But I'm just saying. But like legit, I had no idea. We didn't see it coming. I mean, we worked our asses off. Okay.
It's deserved.
But like, it is the hardest thing you ever could do, because the hardest thing we'd ever done, because they put you're in this like little fishbowl, you know, this little microcosm in the middle of nowhere, Colorado, population 4 Black people, and 2 of them arrived, me and Anthony, like 24 hours ago, and it was strange, but one of the best experiences of my life.
And you would change nothing about it?
I don't think I would change a thing about it. I don't think I would change a thing about it. Maybe Anthony would, because he got sick a lot. That altitude, it really messes with people. A couple of the cast members really had some issues, but it was amazing. It was amazing.
Congratulations, winner. So let's go back and talk about your show.
Okay.
Luxe For Less?
Yes.
How did it feel when you got the call that was happening, that they wanted to do that show? Feelings, emotions, how are we feeling?
So, you know what's crazy is that I recorded it. Every time I got a call, every step. So when I got a yes for the pilot, I recorded myself. Then when we got, they greenlit the pilot, you know, it was a yes. I recorded myself. And then after filming the first episode, or the night it aired, I recorded myself again. But it was surreal. I'm unfortunately a person that's not always present. And I work really hard to be present when it comes to television now, because the viewer can feel that.
Oh, yeah.
And I can feel it when I'm watching. I can feel it. But I'm not always present because I'm always afraid to get too excited. Like, I don't want to F it up. Do you know what I mean?
Disappointment? I can't do it.
And that's what it is. But you understand that keeps you from experiencing your life. And also allowing people to penetrate the wall and get to know who you are. And I learned that in hindsight. It's something I learned in hindsight and I work on daily, but legitimately, I don't want to get too excited. I want to be sure that I'm always grateful and grounded and so forth and so on. But I'm also kind of limiting my full experience. So it's a work in progress for me.
You're going to get it.
Yeah.
We're going to get it. I can't stand being disappointed. All right. So Luxe For Less may have come to an end, but you seem to always be working.
Yes.
So can you share what's next?
I just filmed this show called 100-Day Hotel Makeover or Challenge. I don't know which one is going to land on.
So we're doing the competition things. That's the thing.
Is that crazy? And then I did Barbie right after that. Anthony and I both did Barbie right after Rock the Block, which was like ratings beyond. We know that the year of Barbie was insane, right? But this hotel show, I'm a hospitality fanatic, not just traveling, but also my design perspective and how I approach everything comes from kind of a hospitality vibe. And so it just made sense. And yeah, it's actually a good show.
I cannot wait to
No, it's a good show. Again, HGTV loves filming in the middle of nowhere. We were in Nowhere, North Carolina.
Okay.
A town I'd never heard of. And it felt like the beach. I didn't realize there was so much coast there. I think about only High Point Market and things like that, but it was a really good time.
No, I can't wait to watch.
Yeah, it was a good time.
I'm sure y'all can't wait to watch either. Okay, so I saw you were in Morocco on your Instagram.
Yeah.
Can you share any inspiration that you got from your trip there?
Big dream. That was a big dream. That was a big, big dream.
Tell me more.
I kept saying that I wanted to go, right? Now, I'd been to South Africa, I'd been to East Africa, but this is North. And it's a different world. It felt like a set. We were in the middle of everything. I traveled with some of my best friends, who are also my neighbors, who travel a little bit differently than I do. They don't care about luxury experiences and so forth. They are much more concerned with getting the authentic experience. So we stayed in a riad. Just like the locals. The family would come in the morning, cook us breakfast, give us ideas on what itineraries and what we could do that day, leave after breakfast, and then we had, you know, just the run of the land. It was kind of special. So I was right in the middle of everything. We're walking through just the city, and there's carcasses hanging here and rugs over there and kids running around and mopeds zooming by you. And it was insane. And it felt like a Disney movie.
Yeah.
I can't describe it any other way. And I felt like there was a magic carpet under my feet, all these stupid cliches, but
you're Aladdin at this point.
It was stunning.
Yeah.
And the people were beautiful. What we got to see, we left the city and went into Essaouira and went to this place where these women made oils and turned everything into skin products. And I'm still wearing an eye cream that I got from North Africa.
You better cherish that.
Do you know what I mean? It's like I'm putting on just a little bit every day. But legitimately, it was an experience that it was just so amazing. We started out in Portugal. We were there for 4 days, then flew over to Morocco for about another 4, and then back to Portugal in Lisbon for another 3. And it was the best vacation that I'd never planned.
those are the best.
I just jumped on their ticket. I'm the worst planner ever. I mean, only interior design projects. That's it. Beyond that, I'm not planning crap. And so
flowing with the wind.
That's it. They had the itinerary. I jumped on, and yeah, it was one of the best trips of my life.
I love that.
It was one of the best trips
of my life. So I have to go to Morocco and experience that?
You must go, because I'm going back.
Oh.
And not only did I go to Morocco, the other dream was I got to visit this resort, and I'll give you the name of it later, but Black woman owned. Her father was a hotelier, and she took over this one when he passed away. And I read about this hotel and I don't want to mispronounce it, that's why.
Give me the name later, because what is the series called? Rooting for Everybody Black.
Marianne is and was a dream. So the neighbors I reference are Jamaican. Yeah. And so we meet.
Friend, I'm Jamaican, sorry.
Oh, okay. And I know how you feel about each other. I've never met more family-oriented people in my life.
Oh, yes.
Exactly, and I love that about them. So they've kind of been my link to everything international. I'm from Louisiana. Okay. And so all my family was probably in like a 3-mile radius. And so we stopped in Boston, I think. In Boston, 3 of us, right, total. We stop in Boston and pick up our 4th member. And our 4th member is from the Congo. She's from Central Africa. And she's Vassie's friend. So 2 guys, 2 girls, Brian, Michelle, Vassie, and Nicole. We all traveled that way. And she says, hey, I heard you were an interior designer. I said, yeah, this is our first time meeting. And she says, my sister is friends with the owner of this hotel. And I was drooling at that point. And I was like, that's like a bucket list for me to visit that space. And she said, I'll see if she can get us in to have lunch. She did. Not only did we have lunch, the owner was there. And she said, and I'm like, I was cussing. I was like, holy shit. Like, what is she doing here? Because she travels so much. Yeah. She's a busy woman.
It was God sent. You were meant to be there at that time to meet that owner.
Do you know what she told me when we met?
What did she tell you?
She said, I've gotten so many calls at this fabulous interior designers in town that I needed to meet. And I was like, ooh, who is it? I want to meet him too.
Who was it?
Bruh.
Who was it? Michel Smith Boyd.
Ashlee, I felt this big and so seen at the same time, just because literally, if I had a vision board, which I'd ripped this out of magazines, and I'd learned about her hotel and her journey throughout the pandemic. That's when most of us became aware of her. But it was just an amazing experience. There's so many things that I saw that changed my perspective about how I would live going forward. And I've seen a lot of the world, but something about this particular trip and where I am in my life after doing those TV shows and just getting new perspective about self-worth and value and real trajectory, real legacy, and a stronger sense of self that I got on the other side of tap dancing for approval.
Because, we love to tap dance for the people. We gotta stop that.
Well, I mean, but hindsight is 2020, and I unfortunately have to put my hand in the fire sometimes, see that it's hot. But I'm so grateful for the lessons, and that trip allowed me to see things that I didn't realize about the world, about our culture, but also about myself.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Well, you have to get me that name. We'll talk after about that, and I'll share with y'all too. All right. So when you hit a roadblock, how do you get inspired?
When I hit a roadblock, I don't know that I'm always looking for inspiration as much as recalibration. And for me, that is faith. I rely on my faith a lot. I feel like, especially with the space that I'm in, I don't believe that I have to believe in something bigger than me and bigger than what I'm doing or bigger than the things that I'm attached to, because I need that guidance. I don't always trust myself. And so that's how I recalibrate. Inspiration is honestly everywhere for me. Right now, my last trip was to to Italy.
World traveler right here.
But listen, it was an antiquing trip. And I don't really buy antiques. And my clients don't love antiques. You know, it's really tough for a group of people who don't have a lot of lineage in my particular field or even family heirlooms to pass down. You know, we don't understand the value of antiques always, and it's not our own fault. So I went with the group. I was invited on this trip, and they go every year, and it was fantastic. And I kept seeing the blackamoors.
Okay.
Blackamoors. And historically, blackamoors were servants for the wealthy Europeans, but they always looked so adorned and rich, and their jewels and kind of cameos and pins. You've seen it, and it references a lot of what we remember as, you know, that whole minstrel movement, right? With those symbols of Black culture. But it's not exactly the same. It speaks to a luxury that it's just a tough history. And I thought about bringing it forward, but right now I'm pulling the colors, the palettes, and even some of the images from there for inspiration. I'm designing a new rug collection right now, and that's what I'm using.
You're just doing everything.
I'm a little crazy right now.
Okay.
But I'm a little crazy.
Crazy is not always bad.
And listen, I was hard on myself even just yesterday, thinking, okay, Shell, like, my business is not where I'd like it to be, my design business, right? So that means I've got room to grow and I've got goals. However, at this time, because we're not working with as many clients as we typically have, I get to be creative. I get to paint. I get to design rugs. I get to write. I'm doing a lot of things that I wouldn't have time to do if we had our normal client load. But when it comes to the client load, I am kind of changing the approach of how we do that too. When I was on that trip, I thought about the business side, and I had it amazingly good before TV. And not only has the show kind of confused my client, because the show is called Luxe For Less. That's not exactly what we do in real life. You know what I mean? But that's okay, because that client is really an important one too. And it's the bigger part of the population. So what the show has allowed me to do now is meet people that I wouldn't have before, because I was working with, you know, at a particular price point.
Rich people?
I would say people with more disposable income. How about that?
Okay. Okay.
See what you tried to get me to do?
Okay. All right. So, who have you designed for?
Oh, come on now.
Oh, come on, Tom.
Okay, you know what?
People need to know.
Dang, I was just gonna say one, but I just signed an NDA.
Okay. So don't say that.
I mean, I literally just signed an NDA.
We're not breaking the NDA.
But I will tell you that I didn't see her coming.
Okay.
And it's not a massive project, but it means the world to her because it was a gift from her to her mother. Right.
We love a passion.
And when I get to tell you.
All right, friends, you guys know. All right, well, who have you designed for in the past, or do you sign NDAs for all of them people?
Some of them. You know what? I've had. Let's save that one. Let's save that one.
Sorry, guys. Okay, so what is your favorite design you've done to date?
Oh, that's a good question. Okay, so I'm shooting a project right now for a family whom I love, and a family who's been so loyal to me, even through all my crap, because, you know, it's tough to play double duty, to attempt to build a career in another space that it's new, it's completely foreign, and also balance with the one I had before, you know, because these relationships are really personal, and I have to get to know these families a lot, really, really well, and they have to trust us in what we're doing and the process. But this family has ridden with me, riders, and we redid their house during the pandemic, which I was busier than ever in the pandemic. I was filming a TV show and also redoing some of the most expensive real estate in the city. And I was shooting this project last week, and I was like, dang, this is good. And you do the work, right? We have our head down and we're doing the work, and coming in as kind of somebody experiencing it as opposed to the designer that's there to manifest it felt completely different. And I saw what they'd added since we left, the progress the house had made, how it was living, and some of the design decisions. I just thought, man, this is pretty cool, because I can see the evolution in it, because I'm not the designer I was 15 years ago or 17 years ago. My approach is a lot less, I get to help people express themselves via what they love, and how you live is the first or most important part of that. But most of us aren't taught that, right? Not about how you present, but about how you treat yourself when nobody's looking at home. And it's much less expensive than trying to meet societal standards. And we're always worth it. So, being true to yourself and honoring who you are is the guaranteed luxury.
You just say so much good stuff. I was just combing through your Instagram, and you really attention to detail. Chef's kiss.
Thank you.
I saw you did, you redid a house for a family.
Yeah.
And I think they had small children, and you chose, what do you call this? Center table. And it was cushioned around the corner. So the little kid, and then you said the kid can learn how to walk, with it. So there were so much things that can be done through that choice that you did. Yeah,
but every designer, right? We have to be thoughtful people. Not only are we thinking about math, because there's so much math in design, it's insane. Not just math, not just budgets, not just what's on trend and what works for the family via expression, but how this house is going to meet their needs every day. Refuel them when they get home, but also set them up for a great day when they leave the next morning. And not having sharp corners on the table for your toddlers is probably a few less trips to the emergency room.
You want to watch the kid grow up, not kill it.
Exactly.
So you designed for many. Now I can see what it's like in here, but what's your style? If you can describe it in a few words.
Okay. Without giving away too much, I'm going to say that I'm calling myself the moody minimalist right now. I'll never be a true minimalist. And even from that camera, it's so little you can see, but all this design is happening on the other side.
Oh my God. Friends, I wish you guys could see what this house looks like. You can't even see this fixture that's above us, but I'm going to try to get some B-roll of it because y'all are missing out. But go ahead.
Moody.
Yes. That's exactly what it is. I wish you guys could see this.
I'm designing for mood. I'm designing for mood. And that automatically eliminates anything cookie cutter. That automatically guarantees that your house won't look like the last client's house or the next one, because I'm designing for mood, which means I've really got to get to know you. And minimal is because of the edit. I'm a better editor than I was at the beginning. I was kind of a more is more. I felt like I was overcompensating in design, thinking it's luxury, so we gotta have this, okay? And we gotta have one of these, and if they don't get it right here, they don't get it over here, and so forth and so on. And the interiors were beautiful, but they were heavily collected. And I feel like I can express what we're trying to with less stuff.
Less is more.
No, I don't believe that.
No?
I'm never gonna say that. I'm never gonna say that. I'm a designer. I can't say less is more.
True.
Okay? But I am gonna edit.
I love that. Come on, editor. Let's talk designing on a budget.
Okay.
Because we did Luxe For Less.
Man, no, I'm joking. I'm joking.
What are some tips, design do's or don'ts?
The biggest, this is a do and don't. Don't rush. Do take your time and buy what you want. I believe in buying things one time. The idea of getting the temporary fix, unless it's something you just need, you have to have, then okay. But the idea of honoring yourself, like I said, I'll wait. I'll just wait for what I want. I want to spend the money one time, and I want to smile every time I walk into my home, every time I walk by said painting, or you know, every time my friends get to enjoy what I enjoy. You know, don't you love like when you host somebody, right?
And they be like, what that?
Not even that, like the small stuff. You serve your favorite foods, you serve your favorite wine, or whatever you're loving right now, you want to share with your friends. That's the experience your home should have, and that should start at the front door. Not just what you hand them to consume, but what their eyes are consuming and what their spirit is consuming. You should be in every inch of your space. And you making choices based on what Billy got, or, you know what I'm saying? Honor your budget for sure, but if there's something you want, and you can get it in 6 months as opposed to 2, I would wait to 6.
Because it's worth it.
It's worth it. You've got a 30-year mortgage, so you might as well wait, you know? What else would I say? Is that enough?
I think that's enough. You don't want to get into too much because, hello, you have a business to serve. Okay, so does your decor choice depend on the house?
Yeah, you should honor the architecture. You should. It should be a balance, though. It should be you, the architecture, and also budget. The combination of the 3. What's the best I can get that will not stand out like look like ridiculous, that also represents me?
Yeah.
You know, but it should be a combination of the 3.
You ever went into somebody's house and was like, what the hell is this?
I try not to do that. No, and I'm never gonna cop to it. I'm never ever gonna cop to it because nobody will ever invite me to their homes anymore.
Oh my God.
Exactly. Like, but I will tell you that every single restaurant, while I'm enjoying the meal, I'm making up the restaurant the entire time, the whole time, because I enjoy ambiance. It's like, this is the mood that they were attempting to communicate to me. And even if I don't get it, or even if it's not my genre of choice, I can still respect it if it's good. Now, if it's garbage, I'm going to talk about you. I'm going to talk about you.
Real bad, too.
Real bad.
All right. So besides designing, you also have a candle company, right?
Yeah.
MSB Signature?
Yep.
Tell me about that.
I am associated and have been associated with scent for as long as I can remember.
I heard you
Renee
smell so good.
She's like nodding her head back there. I love fragrance. And again, I believe hopefully this doesn't sound crazy to you, but I believe in a daily dose of luxury. Not luxury, a daily dose of romance. And that's in the tiniest things. Sometimes some people like rituals like tea, or even a bath. You know, part of my daily dose of luxury is simply fragrance. Like one spray of this extrait will take me into tomorrow. You know what I mean? Honestly. So that's just one of the things. And that's also something that I get to share with our clients. You know, I get to leave a candle behind and so forth. So we just start to sell them.
Okay. Well, I want to smell it.
You smell it right now.
Delicioso. Okay. So I saw on your Instagram that you were recently invited to be styled by Tiffany and
Okay, that was a moment.
What was that experience
That
like?
was a moment. Okay, so that's one of those, how in the did I get here?
I mean, you must be one of God's favorites.
Oh, I'm definitely one of his favorites.
Yeah.
I'm definitely one of his favorites. I'm still figuring that out too. But yeah, so the store director at Tiffany has been with the company for 18 years. Black woman. Have a moment. Have a moment. She's been with the company for like 18 years and she's moved, I think, 4 cities. This is her 4th store. Okay. She has this new boutique in Atlanta. It is massive. The architecture is insane. And honestly, I can't imagine the pressure she's under. But if you're not going to trust a Black woman, then who can you trust?
Nobody.
And Tiffany knows. So she asked me to join her at, oh, you're going to love this, at the Driscoll Prize Dinner. And it's of the arts, right? And a Black artist is honored every year. And this year, a Black female curator was honored here in Atlanta. And I think she's from Chicago. Incredible ceremony. And she and I were going to be each other's date. And Tiffany wanted to dress me up. And I was like, I didn't get it. Because she reached out to me via DM, and nobody takes DM seriously, right? I was like,
is this spam?
Right, I was
really
like,
who I'm talking
she
to?
literally reached out to me like 3 times, and I was like, Okay, and let me just bite. Let me just, I was like, I'll bite, right? Again, you and I are always trying to control everything, don't want to disappoint ourselves.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I don't want to get too big for my britches.
Yeah.
And so I thought, okay, I'll answer. And she turned out to be an incredible woman. We just had another dinner 2 nights ago, Leonard and Tiffany. So champagne all night long with every course at Michelin star restaurants. I'm like, that's a good friend to have.
Man, is it? You better keep her around.
Yeah, Tiffany, that relationship is incredible. We're gonna do some other things together too for Pride Month and so forth and so on. But legitimately, Dee Dee is a gem. No pun intended. But the tour through Tiffany was really, really special. And I got to wear the bird on the rock, 55 carat amethyst, and like 17 carats of diamonds. It was insane.
So you were already rich, but she was rich then.
No.
Oh my God. No, you were wealthy that night.
I was wealthy, but necklaces, bracelets, rings. But that, Jay-Z wore that. Oh. When she said Jay-Z wore that, if you knew how I felt about Beyonce, you would understand what I'm saying to you. I was like, yeah, that's it. Like, we went through the whole store and did this beautiful tour, which I recommend to everyone, by the way. But when she said, this was really my plan. I was like, so you just saved this for the end. We went through all of this rigmarole, but it was a beautiful experience. Let me just
show you everything else, but I'm thinking of a master plan.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I love that. Okay. Right. So lastly, with every guest that I speak to on my series, I like to ask them for advice if they could pass forward. So what advice can you share for aspiring interior designers?
I think that changes quite often.
Okay.
I used to have a canned answer that was given to me. And I'll give you that, but then I'll tell you what I think now.
The real answer.
Yeah. Okay. Losers wait on perfection. Winners go with what they have. That's real. And it'll snatch you bald-headed, like seriously, because it really calls you to the carpet, right? That's accountability. But right now, I would say your design aesthetic isn't going to go anywhere but up. It's only going to evolve. It's only going to get better. I would not spend all my time on that because creativity is in you. It's your gift, right? Mm-hmm. Learn the business. Learn the business because that's what's going to sustain you. What I've done is incredibly risky to leave an established business and attempt something else in the middle of it, right? Or in this part of my career. And now recognizing the holes that were in my business and the opportunities in the infrastructure and how it needs to be stronger in order to sustain us going forward. So learn the business, every aspect of it.
Oh my God, you dropped so many gems.
You said 15 plus years. Okay.
Okay.
I gotta have something for my journey.
Hello, and you did. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. I'm happy to sit with you.
Thank you. Yay.